Hello, everyone. This is Thomas Pepin, NHL Talk. I'm Thomas Pepin, and let's play some NHL. Continuing the franchise mode series where I've taken over the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're on season 17, episode 5. Just finished the playoffs and also the free agency period last episode. Lost in the first round in Game 7, which is pretty disappointing. And yeah, so it's just a regular off season. Got to do all the business now. I think there's going to be some changes in terms of cap management strategy, based on some salaries and stuff. So since the last episode, I just looked at contract expectations and things like that. So usually I would do it on stream, but I did it off stream just for my own interest. And it seems as though I won't be able to afford what I want to afford. And I'm going to change how I structure my spending. It doesn't change my original strategy and what I would recommend generally speaking for NHL GMs, but in the game at least, well, it's like a modification to the same strategy, just spending less money in certain ways. Maybe actually the way I have been doing it has actually been away from the original strategy, which more or less the fourth line would be making about $1 million a piece, so league minimum plus or minus. And I haven't done that. I've actually spent a chunk more on my fourth line, so I think I'm going to get away from that, spend a lot less, and actually have lesser players, which means I'm probably going to get less production out of that line, but altogether have more spending on the higher end players and then hopefully have greater total production. It's going to allow us to have more better players, and I don't know if that's going to improve results or not, but based on the current situation with salaries expected for the top players, it seems like the only possible route. Otherwise, I'm going to be having lesser players, which means, yes, I can afford everybody, but I just don't think I'll be able to put as good of a, or as competitive as of a team. In general. So things I'm thinking about, and the kind of strategies planned. So, like I was saying, I had a look at things before this stream, so I have a list of things to do, players that I'm targeting, and things like that. Don't have everything fully planned, but at least the chunky stuff. So, where to start? So, I guess I'll show you the first couple things. And part of the reason why I did this off stream is because I wasted some time on stream having made some mistakes because I wasn't paying enough attention when it came to doing stuff during the draft, like the trades and everything. So since I had to go back and redo that, and it's a bit of wasted time, I decided to save some time for you guys having playing this stuff ahead of time. So two first things. So we've got Vasiliev and Moss, who we're both going to trade for. So they're RFAs, asking for reasonable salaries. So from what you see, it's not reasonable, but once you negotiate, it'll come down. So it'll be 80% that we'll ask for, might have to adjust from there. And then if it's 80%, then 10% is 1.4, 20%, which is what you would have off, is 2.8 off of what they're asking for is 1.1 something. or sorry, 11 point something. So 11 million for a top end player is reasonable. Same story with Moss. Um, and yeah, their past performance is great. This is a bit lower than I'd like to have for what we're going to be giving for his salary. But he's playing on a team not as good as ours. So you would think that if you put him with our players, his production is going to go up. Also, his goals are quite reasonable. So at the very least, we're getting enough scoring production. Whereas for Moss, he is stellar on everything. So penalty minutes, I just noticed this. I didn't notice this last time I looked, but it was a bit high for this season. But his goals are outstanding, point production outstanding. So, and again on a lesser team, so it should be quite good with us. So those are two guys we're targeting. What's been discovered off stream, like I said, Renz is actually willing to accept a reasonable contract now with inflation. They're going to have to be paid more. He's a franchise player, 96 overall, young. The ideal contract duration is going to be 5 based on how he increases his demands as you move up. And then 80% of this, so 1.6 times 2 is 3.2. 3.2 off of this is 13 million for a franchise guy is pretty reasonable now. 12 million would be more ideal, but 13 I can handle. And then also with the change of strategy, we actually, well, not really change of strategy, but change from what I've been doing rather than what my actual core strategy is. We have more millions to play with, so we can afford to do that. Brenda Moore is asking for far too much, and so you can see 17 million versus 16 million. As I say that, give me a sec here. $17 million. Well, what's the math of that anyways? 0.8 times 17.4 approximately. 13.9 versus 0.8 times, I think it was 16.4. The low 13s. So actually, to be honest, he's not crazy different. $14 million though. That's a lot. Is his production enough to justify it? Kind of, yes. Is he a playmaker? He is. Actually, you know what? We could turn out re-signing him. I was thinking about trading. So then maybe we might not go for Vasilyev and just go for Moss. In any case, we also discovered that Moss wants 13 whatever million. We never spend that on a defenseman, so he's gone. So Watsky's asking for the same as Brendamore. There's a 0% chance that's happening. Ortiz is actually reasonable. So this is ideally what we'd be spending on all of them, but unfortunately they're asking for far more. He will be able to figure something out with him, and so it's going to turn out being something like 9 million after the discount we'll get. So probably 5 years is going to be right. Who else? So Makinen's up. So this is what kind of triggered the idea of getting rid of this fourth line. So he's up. He wants 4 million. We're not spending that. So why not just start to unload guys? Because like there's him, Henriksen. He's going to be up, I think, in 1 more year. Yeah, and then Moses would be an extra year beyond that, but 3 million, 3 million, why not just take the extra 4 million? So if you change this to 1, you get 2 extra million. Change this to 1 again, you get 2 extra million. So that's 4 million plus, where was he here? Makinen. It's another 1.4. So that's 5 million we can spend. So I guess this is getting ahead of ourselves, but what I'm going to do is find guys that whatever their overall rating is isn't going to be all that important. What I'm going to be doing is taking a look. I want somebody that's got very high defensive awareness, very high shot blocking, stick checking, whatever. Their endurance, where I would usually think it's important, is just I'm going to completely disregard. Essentially just maximize defensive skills. The rest doesn't matter, and because they're going to be used sparingly anyways, so what's the point in really looking for more? So anywho, so that's going to be the plan. There might be one guy on the fourth line which would have different skills, but I think what I'm going to do instead is have maybe on the fourth line a rookie, where he'll be the guy that will move up in case of injuries. And then, yeah, maybe the 13th forward will be an offensive guy versus the defensive setup for the fourth line. So then if there's 2 injuries, you have... Or wait, no. It would be... Sorry, another defensive guy. So if there's 2 injuries, one of the defensive guys, I guess... No, sorry. So that means, yeah, one of the fourth line guys is going to have to be offensive. And then the rookie guy comes up, first injury, and then one of the offensive fourth line guy, preferably maybe a mix kind of player, he could be the second backup for injuries. So that's kind of like the rough plan. And then that's basically the whole situation there. The other thing, we will have to get a different goalie because Dagla doesn't want to be extended at a cap hit that we will accept. We want 2-point low or less, and he wants more than that, so not going to happen. So I should have kept Subban maybe, but we could always trade for him or sign somebody else, and I've already looked. There's plenty of guys to sign that would be as good as Subban. So, and I think they'd be younger too, which is better anyways. So, that's kind of the gist. So now that it's slightly different from my original plan, because I was planning to trade Brendamore, so I don't know exactly how this is going to change everything. Because, okay, so basically the alternatives are Vasiliev. We trade for him, sign him at, I think it's going to be about 11 million, or we extend Brendamore at 13 something. So for probably about 2.5 million, is it better to have Brendamore? And I think the answer is yes. So I should probably start. Well, I might as well just follow because I've got a procedure in the document here, so let's just follow the procedure. We'll address things as we go. So, first is trading block. Empty that. So, trading blocks done. Then we need to adjust budgets. Okay, so advertising we need to have max. Coach. So scouts we need to increase so we can hire potentially. Coaches, same thing. I think that's it. Okay. So now we fire and hire scouts. Do any of them, how many years left do they all have? A minus, A minus. They're all A minuses. So we're going to have 4 expiring next off season. And the ones out there right now are, well, 3 are ones that we let go. And then the other extra one's not that great. So, or not any different at least. So here, this guy I don't think we're going to take because he's got no extra regions that he's good at. Beagle has Q. Neil has Q. Barlow has Central. So they all have better stuff than Lane. So we'll hire those guys. Whatever they're asking for. Alright, so scouts are done. Now, with our coaches, the other thing I've been thinking of since I noticed, the staff chemistry is 55%. Maybe is this showing it right? That's why it was looking weird. Maybe we haven't done as well because our chemistry could be better. I wonder if maybe we should send somebody somewhere else. But the problem is they're already here, so I can't see what their chemistry is like. What's the players? $53. So I guess I won't do anything. How many years left do these guys have? 5, 4, 2, and 1. So we need an assistant coach for the AHL. I forgot to check. We need actually, any type of coach is fine because we have the forward, defense, and goalies, so anything is good. Just preferably high teaching score. Do we not even have a team to see the fit for? So far that first guy makes the most sense. This guy's pretty good. $738. So 766. Do we move the other guy down to assistant? Just so it's easier to hire? I think so, actually. Hmm. No. So he'll be our backup option. So we'll just go for one for now. Alright, so coaches done. Save that. And then it's extend players. So how's his production? 101. Yeah, we gotta give him that contract. Leaps up after 5. So 5 is gonna be optimal. 0.8 times 16.375. 16.375 is 13.1. Brindamore. 8 years is going to be too much because that makes him 37. We want him to end at 36, I believe. Because then we trade him in the off season when he's 35. I'm just going to make sure about pricing differences. Yeah. So 7 years brings us to 36. We trade at 35. So 0.8 times 17.425. 25 is 13. Man, that's a bit close to my limit, but 100 points in a season, pretty rare. So we're going to have to, so we'll go 13.95. So Moss was a no. Sawatsky also a no. The other thing, so when it says wants extension, it says no. So maybe they do better deals when it says yes. Because, for example, Ortiz says yes, and his is a reasonable contract. I never actually paid close attention to that, but I bet you that's relevant. Now, in any case, they're still within range, a bit pricey, but I can accept those contracts. Because, yeah, again, remember, we're up to 2039. It's 2024, and people are making pretty darn close to 13 million already, so it's not that bad. 15 years into the future, so. Yeah, so Moss, Sawatsky, we're trading. Ortiz, we're going to be extending, but the problem is if we're going to be picking up other people and signing them, I'd rather have those locked up first, and then we can deal with finding the cap space later for Ortiz. So, so 73. How much was it for each of them? So altogether, it's about 27. So 27 puts us to 100 million. For spending still leaves us 17. Now, since we're keeping Brindamore, another thing I should be paying attention to is number of forwards that we have. So we need to have 9 good ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then these guys aren't going to be available this first season. So we need 2 more forwards. That's trouble, actually. Because we don't have the cap space for that. So that brings us to 100 million. Leaves us 17 million. Minus Ortiz is about 8 million. So we need 3 more million. Oh, but yeah, we're getting rid of Mackinnon and all those guys. So that's step one. Step two. The other thing I was thinking about, we're probably going to shave off the contract of David. So he hasn't played that great. 21, 26 points. Like, I mean, it's not bad, but really good plus minus the last season. But in any case, for that cap hit, that production, it's just not worth it. We get better production out of guys that cost less. We have Pickarainen coming in. So Moss is going, though. That's the one thing to keep in mind. So we've got Sarno, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. We have 6 with the guy he's going to be showing in the system, Bachman. With his growth, we might be okay, but we still need an extra guy. So we're going to have to figure out somebody in free agency or on a team for a trade to fill in the last spot if we get rid of David. But we do need to shave that 8 million. Just value for dollars spent, we could get way better value spending that money on a forward. So we shave that much money. However much gets eaten up by the replacement. Also, he's 31. Then we also consider the money shaved off from the forwards altogether. That's going to give us enough for, or more than enough for whoever we would be trading for. Which, like I said, Moss is the target. So next, it's a question of trading for Moss. He was with Washington. Oh, I went past it. So Moss. I think also he's multi-use. He's a centerman, good at face-off, shot blocking, stick checking, defensive awareness, and he produces. So altogether, a lot of good things about him. So it's almost better that we're going to keep Brendan Moore. Now, who do we trade to get him? So they want David, we don't want David. What if we shaved all that salary in one trade? That would be... I don't know if we can. Because they're cap space, but we might be able to. It'll be close. Mackinnon. Henriksen. I mean, these guys have done great for their roles, but I think, like I said, we can get better value out of taking that money away, putting it to some lesser player, and then spending it on a guy like Moss. We can probably... we'll probably need to give more up to get Moss, but just to be sure, we'll ask for some more stuff. So if this first round doesn't work, then we might have to give up more. No. Then that's too bad. So we'll need a higher end player. Which one? I guess it's Swatsky's probably the better one to get rid of. One for one's probably not going to go. Who else? Let's go Henriksen. So after this trade, I'll be ending the stream and then I'll come back as a continuation after a little bit. So let's just see, figure out what we have to give up for this one. Mackinnon, I guess. I'll try. Let's try David now, I guess. Oh, that was easier than I was expecting. I mean, still I had to give up too much, but that's good. All right, so I'll leave this stream there, and then, like I said, I'll continue in a bit. So I'll be away for probably half an hour, and then come back and continue where I was. So anyways, so if you like the stream, hit the like button, share with your friends, subscribe, turn on notifications. The channel homepage has upcoming streams on regular NHL content. That's coming up on Friday. So I'll have to figure out the time. Starting to run out of time to figure out that time, so we'll figure that out. For things I can't schedule ahead of time, like franchise mode, that schedules in the About section of the channel, currently on random times, such as today, and random dates, such as today. Via pros whenever I have time or feel like it, so basically the same thing, random dates and times until starting Monday for both franchise mode and be a pro. It'll be random times, and then on Monday I should have a schedule. Any comments, leave them in the comments, suggestions likewise, and we'll see you guys, like I said, in maybe 15 minutes, half an hour, or something like that, and we'll continue where we were. Okay, talk later, okay, bye.